So we have a question here involving a cone, and it's talking about the volume and the curved surface area, and it's given us some facts to work with. So literally we can go through the U-Watt principle and the H, help yourself. When we've got a formula, write it down so that we can use it to find out missing information. So they're telling us that the diameter of the base of the cone is 24x, so that tells us then under the what do we know? We know the radius is going to be 12x. So the radius is equal to 12x. We know the perpendicular height of this is a right angle to the radius, and we know that that's 16x. It talks about the curved surface area, and the curved surface area of the cone is equal to pi RL, where L is the slant height, so this is L. So it wants us to work out the value of V. The volume of the cone is V pi, right? So we need to work out the volume of the cone. So to work out the volume of the cone, we can see that we'd need to know the radius. But it wants an integer value, so in other words we've got x's in here, but we don't need x in our final answer, so we've got to somehow find out the value of what x is. The curved surface area is given to us as a number, and we know a formula for it, so we could find out what L is. So let's do that first. So the curved surface area is 2160 pi, and we're told it's equal to pi RL. So let's have a look what that's going to help us to do. So 2160 pi RL, so we can divide by pi. So 2160 is equal to RL. We know that L and R, we know R is 12x, so 2160 equals 12xL. Okay, so at the moment we still haven't got what x is, so we need to think about something else we can work with. Well, when we look at the picture, we can see that we've got a right angle triangle going on, so we can work out L in terms of x. So then we could rewrite this just using x's and find out the value of x. So this is a right angle triangle, so it's going to be Pythagoras. So we've got 16x squared plus 12x squared must equal L squared. So 16x squared, well 16/16s, I seem to remember it's 256, but we'll just do it to check. 16 times 16 is 256, yep, so that gives us 256x squared plus, well we know that 12 is, that's 144x squared, that equals L squared. So we have 300, 400, so we have 400x squared equals L squared. So if we square root both sides, then we find that L is worth 20x. Okay, so we now know that L is worth 20x, so we can replace the L in here. So we have 2160 is equal to 12x times 20x. So we have 2160 is equal to 240x squared. So 2160 divided by 240 is x squared. Square root both sides, so x is equal to. So 2160 divided by 240 equals square root 9. We get 3. So we can find that x is equal to 3 centimeters. Okay, so that now allows us to get what the actual radius is, and now we can calculate the full volume. Okay, so we know the volume is equal to 1/3 pi times the radius squared. Well, we know the radius is worth 12x, so 12 times 3. So R is 36 centimeters, so that's going to be 36 centimeters squared, and we know the vertical height is 16x, so H is equal to 16 times 3, so 48 centimeters, so that's times 48. Okay, so we put that in our calculator, so 1/3 times, well, we don't need to times by pi because we're going to leave our answer in terms of pi because the question says V pi. So we're going to times by 36 squared, and I'm going to times by 48 equals, so 0.20736 pi centimetres cubed. So when it says what's the value of V pi, so the volume of the cone is V pi, so the V is 20,736, so V equals 20,736. Okay, so what looked like quite a complicated question, when you break it up into what you know, and then decide how you can get bits that are missing, then it becomes a Pythagoras question to find out the x value, and then it's literally want to know x, you can bung it into a standard formula to find out what v is. So that's one way of doing that question.